There's a form that seniors sign all the time at the doctor's office, at the lab, at the medical supply store, usually without reading a word of it. Because a staff member points at a line and says, "Sign here," and that little form can leave you personally on the hook for hundreds, even thousands of dollars that Medicare was supposed to cover. Most people never realize what they agreed to until the bill shows up. Here's what makes it worse. There's one box on that form that, if you check the wrong one, throws away your right to fight the charge entirely. You'd be agreeing to pay and giving up your appeal in a single signature. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly what this form is, the one option you should always choose, and the situations where you don't have to pay a dime even if you signed it. Let me name the form right now, so you'll recognize it the second it's put in front of you. The form is called an ABN, an Advanced Beneficiary Notice of Non-Coverage. And here's when it shows up. Anytime a doctor, lab, or supplier thinks Medicare probably won't pay for something they're about to do. By signing it, you are agreeing that if Medicare denies the claim, you will pay for it out of your own pocket. That's the whole purpose of the form, to shift the cost from them to you. Now here's the one rule that protects you. So write it down. If you actually want the service, the form gives you options and you must choose the one that says bill Medicare anyway and let me appeal. On the standard form, that's option 1. Never let anyone steer you toward the option that says I'll just pay now and skip Medicare, because that one quietly gives up your right to appeal. Same signature, completely different outcome. One more thing right away. This form only applies to original Medicare, not Medicare Advantage plans. Let me show you how this goes wrong in real life, because it happens to seniors every single day. Picture a woman we'll call Ruth. She's 71, and she goes in for a routine blood test her doctor ordered. At the front desk, clerk hands her a clipboard with a couple of forms and says, "Just sign here and here, Ruth." Like most of us, signs where the pen points. One of those forms was an ABN, and the box that was already checked, or that she checked without reading, was the "I'll pay, don't bill Medicare" option. 3 weeks later, bill arrives, $400. Medicare decided the test wasn't covered that often, and denied it. And because Ruth had unknowingly chosen the option that skips billing Medicare, she couldn't even appeal. The decision was final, and she was stuck. Now here's the heartbreaking part. If she had chosen the other option, the one that bills Medicare and preserves the appeal, Medicare would have made an official decision, and she could have fought it. Any of those appeals actually winches. She lost $400 not because of the test, but because of a box on a form. That's the entire reason this video matters. Let me make sure it never happens to you. If this could save you or a loved one from a surprise bill, tap subscribe. I help seniors protect their money in the healthcare system. Okay, let's break the form down, so you know exactly what you're looking at. Here's the deal. An ABN is a written notice provider must give you before a service, when they have reason to believe Medicare won't cover it. A common example: Medicare only pays for this screening once every 3 years, and you had one last year. The form is supposed to tell you 3 things clearly: the specific service in question, the reason Medicare might not pay, and an estimate of what it'll cost you. That estimate matters, so always look for it. And remember the limits. An ABN is only for original Medicare, Part A and Part B. If you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, you won't get an ABN. Those plans use their own separate forms. And you should never receive an ABN for things Medicare simply never covers, like hearing aids or routine dental. Those aren't a surprise. They're just not benefits. Now, the most important part, the options on the form, and which one to choose. The standard ABN gives you 3 choices. Knowing them is your protection. Option 1 says, "I want the service. Bill Medicare anyway for an official decision. And I understand I'll pay if Medicare denies, but I keep my right to appeal." This is almost always the right choice if you want the care, because it forces Medicare to actually rule on it, and it preserves your ability to fight a denial. If Medicare ends up paying, they refund you. Option 2 says, I want the service. But do not bill Medicare, I'll just pay for it myself. This is the trap. By choosing it, you get no official Medicare decision and no appeal rights at all. Avoid it unless you have a very specific reason. And option 3 says, I don't want the service, but there's no cost. That's simply declining the care. So the rule is simple. If you want it, choose option 1. If you don't, choose option 3. Just never drift into option 2 by accident. Now here's the part almost nobody tells seniors when you don't have to pay at all. This is where you get your power back. A provider is not allowed to hand a blanket ABN to every single patient for every visit, just in case. That's against Medicare's rules. A valid ABN must be specific. It has to name the actual service and give a real reason Medicare is likely to deny it. So if you're handed a vague form with no specific service or reason, that's a red flag. And here's what that means for your wallet. If the ABN was invalid, you may not owe the charge at all. An ABN can be invalid if it's a blanket form given to everyone, if it lists no genuine reason for denial, if it doesn't name the actual service you received, if you were made to sign it after the service was already done, or if it was shoved at you at the last second, say, right as you're heading into a procedure with no time to decide. In all of those cases, you may not be responsible. And if a provider was required to give you an ABN and simply didn't, they generally can't bill you for the denied service. The cost falls on them, not you. So a signature that was rushed or improper is not the final word. Let me tell you exactly what to do. The office. Slow down. When a form is put in front of you, ask one simple question. Is this an ABN? And why does Medicare might not cover this? Ask for the estimated cost. And ask if there's a covered alternative. If you want the service, choose option 1 so Medicare is billed and your appeal rights are protected. Never sign a blank form. Never sign one that doesn't name a specific service. And never let anyone rush you. You're entitled to enough time to decide. And if you've already been billed after a denial, you're not out of options. If you chose option 1, appeal the denial by following the directions on your Medicare summary notice, the quarterly statement Medicare sends you. And if you believe the ABN you signed was invalid, blanket, vague, or rush, dispute the bill, because you may owe nothing. For free, personalized help with any of this, call 1-800-MEDICARE, or contact your state health insurance assistance program, called SHIP, which offers free Medicare counseling. So here's what to remember. 1. The form is an ABN, and signing it means you agree to pay if Medicare denies. 2. If you want the service, always choose option 1, bill Medicare and keep your appeal rights. 3. Never drift into the pay now, skip Medicare option that waives your appeal. 4. Blanket, vague, or rushed ABN may be invalid, meaning you may owe nothing. And 5. If you're billed after a denial, appeal through your Medicare summary notice. The single most valuable thing you can do. The next time someone at a medical office says, just sign here, stop. Ask if it's an ABN, and read it before you sign. 10 seconds of caution can save you hundreds of dollars. If this helped, subscribe so the next money trap doesn't catch you. And share it with a senior on Medicare. They've probably signed one of these without knowing. I'll see you in the next one.